Good evening and welcome to the September 17th, 2024 regularly scheduled City of Nacogdoches Council meeting. Chad, would you lead us in prayer, please?
I will. Join me in prayer, please. Heavenly Father, we come to you this day grateful for all the many blessings you bestow upon us in our city each day, Lord. I ask that you be with us during this meeting as we receive reports and make decisions. I ask that we make decisions that be honoring and glorifying to your name, Father. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. You'll stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, next item on the agenda is open forum. We have two. Mr. Harrison, if you'll come up and state your name and your address, please. And you have 3 minutes, Mr. Harrison.
I don't need that.
Okay.
My name's Jason Harrison. I live in Melrose, but I just brought some things down here tonight to give to you council members to possibly use it and hope that you show it off in your community. You have fine departments and police and fire. So I'd like to just give you these and then I'm leaving.
Okay. All right.
You get that?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Okay, next one is Mr. Robert Martin. If you'll come and state your name and address, please. Rhonda.
I'm Robert Martin. I live at 1431 Tanglewood Circle in Nacogdoches. I have some handouts. Good. Please note, I'm here today as a private citizen and not in my capacity as a board member of the CVB. On Thursday, September the 13th, I was driving along Tower Road to the Boys and Girls Club to attend the Nacogdoches High School's Black and Gold water polo match when I saw something in a yard that upset me very much. It was a 3-foot by 5-foot professionally printed multicolored flag attached to two very sturdy 4-inch by 4-inch posts with spotlights in front of it to illuminate it at night. It would be too embarrassing, not to mention highly inappropriate in this meeting, to relate out loud to you what was printed on the flag. Therefore, I have provided you with a handout showing an edited version. You can use your imagination to supply the missing letters, and if anyone wishes to see the unedited version, I will show it to you after the meeting. I've already sent an unedited version to Mayor Johnson. The fact that the content is politically oriented is of no matter whatsoever. This would be applicable to any public display of signs or flags. The obscenity is in public view only about half a mile from the Boys and Girls Club and Mike Moses Elementary School. Busloads of young children pass this flag twice a day, Monday through Friday, not to mention those attending activities at the Boys and Girls Club. I realize that the First Amendment guarantees the right of free speech, and as a veteran, I support that right. But the Supreme Court has said that the First Amendment does not guarantee the right to publicly display vulgar obscenities such as this, especially in a location by which hundreds of young children pass daily. Federal statutes allow the FCC to prohibit broadcast of obscene, indecent, or profane language, and the Supreme Court has applied this rationale to public displays of obscenity. I have also included this rationale in the handout. The Supreme Court has also noted that selective restrictions on speech could be upheld based on the captive viewer rationale, a rationale which I've included in the handout. The court has also noted that a regulation prohibiting public displays of obscenity would have to meet several narrow requirements, and I have included those requirements in the handout. In section 43.24 of the Texas Penal Code, it addresses the display of harmful material to a minor. I've included its definition of harmful material in the handout, and it's a Class A misdemeanor. I urge the council to give serious consideration to enacting an ordinance that would prohibit this type of display in public. And if there's any other information I can provide, I'll be glad to try and scare it up. I'm not a lawyer. The attorney can look up the cases, but I found them on the internet. And that's really all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you for
Martin.
listening.
Mr. Martin. Okay, next item is items to be removed from the consent agenda.
You want a motion? I move that we accept the consent agenda.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Okay, now we'll go to the regular agenda. We will, item 6A is a public hearing, to hold a public hearing and receive citizen input on fiscal year 2024 and 2025 proposed tax rate. And Todd, would you lead?
So Mayor and Council, appreciate the opportunity to get in front of you again, going over final stages of the budget. What I want to do is just, well, that's not the slide, that's from the budget hearing. Did you have the slides from the, okay. Well, maybe it's in your handouts anyway. I was going to have a slide to show to the public that basically shows what the tax rate is currently, what the tax rate is that you're going to vote on, and then, you know, how the average, well, I'll just read it to you since I have the slide right here. So the current property tax rate is 47.445 cents per $100 evaluation. The tax rate that we're proposing in the budget is 52.877 cents per $100 evaluation. The other things on the slide, and these were in the notice that we were required to print in the paper and post on our website. So all of this information should have been already accessible to the public. But again, just to read it since we have the wrong PowerPoint here. So the average homestead value in the year we're in right now is $148,179. The current homestead average value of a residence is $162,148. So values on average increase 9.43%. The taxes on those similar values for the homesteads in the current year at the property tax rate of 47.445 cents, average homeowners paying $703.04 a year. With the new tax rate, they'll be paying $857.39 a year. And so I just wanted to put that information before you, even though we've already talked about it multiple times in workshops, and here to answer any questions unless you just want to go to the public hearing for citizen comments.
And Todd, don't ask me how I found it. I found it. I'm not technical, so probably by accident. I'm trying to have someone more technical help me figure out how to migrate it over so we can have it on the screen.
I could probably do it, Rick, if she can't do it.
There,
Go Cougs, yeah.
You good?
Best I can do.
You good?
Just accidentally find it.
Just kept punching.
Oh, there it is. Is that it?
Right, so the information's there for the public to see. Again, it was posted in the newspaper as required by state statute. and on our website. Again, I'm here to answer any questions that you might have.
I don't have a question, but you can confirm this or deny, it, and you know what I'm gonna say. Said it.
Does it have to do with sales tax?
Yes, it does. And I'm gonna say it again, it's not gonna ever get printed, period. And from what I understand, since we've had our budget meeting, if we had the 2 cents of our sales tax and 1 cent was not going to our hospital district, then our sales tax this year would have, instead of being 47 cents per hundred, would be 17 cents per hundred.
Right.
Okay. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Any questions?
Thank you, Todd. Okay, now we'll open the public hearing for comment. Okay, go ahead, come on.
Hi, Brandy Cartwright, 2806 North Pecan Street. I just wanted to get on and remind the public, more than you guys, because you guys probably know this, that our sales tax, which I looked up on the tax assessor, the NACOCAD website, or the tax assessor's website, for the last year, we saw that this year's was 0.4744. In 2023, it was 0.5185. 2022, it looked like they had uploaded 2021 stuff, so I don't have those numbers. But in 2021, it was 0.6160, and in 2020, it was 0.6140. So even though it's going up this year by a few cents, in the past, it has been as much as 10 cents higher. So I thought that was an important thing to recognize as a community, that it has been higher in the recent past, and there were lots of reasons, which I'm sure people will ask about why, but, you know, we paid off some debt a few years ago, and that lowered it significantly, so it's not like we're just raising it, like, you know, without reason, or that it hasn't been that way in the recent past. So I felt like that was an important thing to get out into the public. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, I appreciate that comment. That was mentioned in the budget workshop, so the tax rate did increase by 5.432 cents per $100, and 4.62 cents of that is because we issued new debt that the voters approved. So really, only 0.8 of 1 penny is the actual increase. That's not debt related.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions or comments? Do I close it now, or, okay. Okay, then the hearing for the proposed tax rate is closed. Now there'll be discussion amongst the council. Any discussion?
No.
Now entertain a motion.
So do we need to move to item 6B or C first?
We'll go to B as it's read. B as it's read.
So we need,
And we will have a record vote on that.
so,
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Is that what you waiting
that
on?
was my question.
Okay, item 6B, consider approval of an ordinance approving and adopting the annual budget for fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2024 and ending September 30th, 2025. Providing that said expenditures for said fiscal year shall be in accordance with said budget unless otherwise authorized by an ordinance adopted by City Council. Providing for a repeal clause, providing a severability clause, and providing an effective rate. You want to make a motion?
So, just so I'm clear on this, are we approving the budget first, or the we need to approve a budget and then a tax rate to
Then
fund
the
that
tax
budget, right?
Budget
Right.
first and then the tax rate.
Right, so state law is kind of unclear on which comes first, it's the chicken or the egg, right? So we called TML, and their lawyers advised that you have to, you can only adopt a tax rate that approves your budget, or that supports your budget. So in their opinion, you approve the budget first and then the tax rate.
Okay.
Okay.
I will make a motion that we approve the fiscal 24-25 budget as presented.
Second.
Have a motion second. and then
I'll
we'll
call
do-
for your record
We'll
vote.
do a record vote. Any discussion?
No discussion.
Okay.
Councilman Mall, what say you on item 6C?
Aye.
6B, excuse me.
Aye.
Councilman Williams, what
Aye.
say you on item 6C?
Aye.
6B. Councilwoman Bellinger, what say you on item 6B?
Aye.
And Mayor Johnson, what say you on item 6B?
Aye.
Thank
You missed somebody.
you. Oh, sorry, Councilman Huckabee sitting behind me. What say you on item 6B?
Aye.
Thank you, Council and Mayor.
Okay. All right, so that passes on a record vote unanimously. We'll go to item 6C. Consider an ordinance ratifying and setting tax rate on all taxable property for the tax year 2024 at a rate of 52.52877 per $100. Valuation on all taxable property within the corporate limits of the city of Nacogdoches as of January 1st, 2024. The said tax rate having a maintenance and operation component and a debt service component, and providing an effective date.
We have to hear from him. Clip.
Probably get some clarity here. I know y'all didn't do this last year, because last year y'all adopted the no new revenue rate. But when you adopt a tax rate that's above the no new revenue rate, the state law is very specific. You have to have 3 record votes. And the first record vote's gonna come after the motion that one of you will read if you want to adopt this rate. That's in bold. That's state required language. So once you read that statement, you can take the record vote on the overall rate, and then you'll have to make another motion on just the M&O rate, and then a third motion on the INS rate, and record votes on all 3.
Well, I'll start.
Okay.
I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.52877 per $100, which is effectively a 11.45% increase in the tax rate.
And I'll take your record vote.
Second.
Council, oh, sorry.
I'll second. Or Chad did.
Yes, I took a picture and I sent it to you. Yeah, it's higher now. Oh, now it falls on the bottom. Before it was on the
Discussion.
Okay, any discussion? No. Okay. Go ahead and take your record.
Councilman Huckabee, what say you on item 6C?
Aye.
Councilman Mall, what say you on item 6C?
Aye.
Mayor Johnson, what say you on item 6C?
Aye.
Councilman Williams, what say you on item 6C?
Aye.
Councilwoman Bellinger, what say you on item 6C?
Aye.
Thank you.
And for clarity, what we said on that vote was for that motion, not the entire item, correct?
Correct. That's
right.
the overall rate.
Overall tax
Now we're
rate.
gonna do the 2 parts of that rate.
The M&O and the INS.
Is there specific language on that? It just says specifically the,
There's not specific language. What you can say in the form of a motion is, I'd like to apportion 47.154 cents of the tax rate to the M&O. And then once you get to the INS, I would like to apportion 0.05723 to the INS.
I move that we apportion 47.154 cents per $100 valuation for maintenance and operations of our tax rate.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion by Chad and second by Blaine. Any discussion? There being none?
I'll take your record vote. Councilman Huckabee, what say you on the M and O?
Aye.
Councilman Mall, what say you on the M and O?
Aye.
Mayor Johnson, what say you on the M and O?
Aye.
Councilman Williams, what say you on the M and O?
Aye.
Councilwoman Bellinger, what say you on the M and O?
Aye.
Thank you.
I make a motion that we apportion 5.723 cents per $100 valuation of our tax rate for debt service in the interest and sinking.
Second.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, any discussion? There being none, we'll take a record vote.
Councilman Huckabee, what say you on the INS?
Aye.
Councilman Mall, what say you on the INS?
Aye.
Mayor Johnson, what say you on the INS?
Aye.
Councilman Williams, what say you on the INS?
Aye.
And Councilwoman Bellinger, what say you on the INS?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. That's it. We can move on? Okay.
Move on.
Okay, next item is 6D, consider approval of multiple indefinite deliverable, indefinite quantity contracts by and between the City of Nacogdoches and Hawkins Incorporated and SNF Polydine Incorporated for various chemicals used in water and wastewater treatment in a not-to-exceed total budget of $225,000.
Yes, sir. Mayor, City Council, this is Case Opperman, Director of Public Works and City Engineer. Can y'all hear me well enough?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So as y'all know, we utilize a number of different chemicals in our water and wastewater treatment facilities, 10 to be exact. These are, when they're awarded and we have a contract in place, they are eligible for up to 2 one-year renewals. And so we've been able to renew 7 of our chemicals, which still had a renewal option available. But our contracts on liquid polyphosphate and then polymer for the wastewater treatment plant and the water treatment plant all had already used both of their renewal options. So we had to go back out for bids on those this year. Just in case anybody's curious, liquid polyphosphate is added to our drinking water as a corrosion inhibitor, and it also prevents buildup in our water lines. And then polymer is a coagulant, which is used to thicken sludge for dewatering in the water and wastewater treatment processes. So all 3 of these chemicals were up for renewal. Up for bid. Suppliers can bid on one or all chemicals that are up for bid. Generally, suppliers kind of specialize in just a couple of chemicals, and some only do one. But these companies here only bid on one each. So Hawkins Incorporated was found to be our low bidder for liquid polyphosphate at $13.50 a gallon. And then we actually had a low bid issue on the polymer. The low bidder actually supplied a bid number for wet poundage, which is going to be lower than what dry poundage is, and we had asked for dry pound pricing. So when they figured out that they had made a mistake, they withdrew their bid. So the low bid for polymer is actually going to be SNF Polydine Inc. And the wastewater treatment plant polymer is $4.231 per dry pound, and the water treatment polymer is $4.286 per dry pound. These are IDIQ contracts, and so it's basically an on-call contract for us to call these vendors as we need to order new chemicals. And so we would recommend that you award the contracts to these 2 suppliers for these 3 chemicals for the upcoming fiscal year. And we do have budget for these purchases. So happy to answer any questions after public comment.
Any public comment? Any discussion? I'll make a motion that we approve the bulk chemical bid award as presented for the waste and wastewater facilities.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next item,
Thank you,
six-
council.
Okay, thank you, Case. Next item, receive the annual report from the Boys and Girls Club of Deep East Texas. Mr. Davidson.
Mayor Johnson, members of the council, members online. First of all, I want to publicly thank this gentleman for the nice words he said about the Boys and Girls Club. Appreciate that. So, but we're here to present our annual report to you, let you know what's been going on at the club. So, for those who may not be familiar with the club, we've been serving kids in our community since 1988. Started at Mike Moses Junior High until we did the capital campaign and built the club there on Park Street. And then after that, we went into a long-term agreement with the city of Nacogdoches and the school district to build the aquatic center, which was built in '98, and then a capital campaign that led to the Lehman family, and that center opened in 2000. The aquatic center serves a number of roles in our community, used by the children who are members of the Boys and Girls Club. It's used by Nacogdoches Independent School District, both for their swim team and now their water polo team, for both the high school and the middle school. Used by citizens in our community. It's 3 times a day for general swim for 1 to 3 hour time slots, Monday through Friday. And then general swim on Saturdays for 2 hours, and then we're closed on Sundays. And then it's also available to rent by any resident residing in Nacogdoches, be it a business or an individual who'd like to do a party there at the pool. We do lifeguard training, CPR training, first aid classes. We do swim lessons both for youth and adults. We collaborate with the local Boy Scouts and troops and youth groups that have to get merit badges. And then we also do water aerobic classes 3 days a week. Some numbers for you. We're open over 1,500 hours during the school year in the summer. This past year, we served 4,001 patrons, 3,096 of which were adults and 905 which were youth. For our youth, we have a USA swim team that has 281 participants. We do swim lessons. We serve 342 individual children and adults for swim lessons this year, and then we did 43 birthday parties for another 870 people. In the fall of 2001, we mentioned this before, we were awarded a 21st Century Grant, which is basically a TEA grant that provides services for underperforming students in underperforming schools. 3 of those locations are here in Nacogdoches. They're Mike Moses Elementary, Brooks Quinn Jones, and Carpenter. That grant runs for 5 years. We just renewed our 4th year, and it is our intention when that grant runs out after 5 years to renew that grant. So we serve an additional 400 children in these locations, and the program is offered after school. And then we combine the 3 locations during the summer months into 1 location. So this past year, we had our best year ever. We had 507 children in our club facilities on Park Street, as well as 447 children in our 21st Century location, so 1,954 children total, which when you take into consideration our school district has about 5,700 kids, that's about 33% of all the kids here in Nacogdoches are involved in the Boys and Girls Club in some capacity. Our average daily attendance during the school year is 258 at the club and 308 at our school sites. Our summer members, 745 at the club and 200 at the school sites. We have 270 children registered for our football program. We do flag and tackle. And those are kids from communities in Nacogdoches as well as Lufkin and Diboll. And then we have our gymnastics facility as well. So this past summer was our busiest. In the 3 locations here and our 21st Century sites, we had 945 children, unduplicated children, registered for a summer program this year. Our school hours are Monday through Friday from 3 to 7, and our summer months, we're open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. School year, we charge $100 per child. It's the first year that we have gone up in the last 8 years, our membership, so we went from $75 for $100. But a child can come every day during the school year from 3 to 7 for $100 for the school year, and they get dinner every night. And then during the summer months, it's $100 also for the first child and $75 for any additional children. And we provide breakfast and lunch during the summer. And then we also partner with Superior and Marigroup, which is now WellPoint, which are Medicaid providers who will pay for either the school year or the summer. So an example, this summer, we had a parent that had 5 children. So she paid $100 for the first child, of which Medicaid paid $75, so she paid $25 out of her pocket. And then her 4 additional children, who were only $75, were paid by Medicaid. So she was able to provide services for her 5 children, getting breakfast and lunch every day during the summer months from 8 to 5 for $25. Breakdown of our membership, 49% boys, 51% girls, about 80% are under the age of 12, and then about 20% are teenagers. We're a very diverse group, about 35% Caucasian, 36% African American, 21% Hispanic, and 8% multi-race. About 43% of our kids come from single parents. And this past year, as an organization, we served 219,000 meals in our clubs, of which 91,874 meals were served here in Nacogdoches. About 42% of all the meals that we served as an organization came here in our community. And just a little breakdown, you guys have always asked us about that, so again, you can see our revenue streams, donations, annual campaigns, fundraising efforts, grants and foundations, annual contracts. We're pretty spread out, so we don't depend specifically on one fund area. So if we fall short in an area, you can always pick it up in another area. So, be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Has inflation hit you?
Big time. Yeah, just the cost, and that's part of the reason we had to increase our services as a minimal amount, but the cost of doing business, everything has gone up considerably. And I'll give you one for example. For our insurance this year, property liability, auto went up 67%. So we're feeling the effects of it, but we're doing everything we can to try to continue to serve as many kids as we can at the lowest cost possible.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank you for what you do, Mr. Davidson. It's a great service for this community, and it's very, very well received, and you do a great job, and I really appreciate it very much.
I will pass that along to our team.
Thank you, sir.
We are very blessed to have a great team who really care about the kids in our community.
Absolutely.
I appreciate also what you do. You're right across the street from the Mike Moses School.
Yes, sir.
Right across the street from the Nacogdoches Housing Authority. And I'm in that area on a daily basis. So I know you guys do a great job.
Yeah.
The water aerobics, I've been instructed by my wife to attend. So.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing you. It's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 to 12.
11 to 12. Okay, good to see you. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
You're welcome.
I'll jump in and also say thank you. I'm also in that area a lot. My wife is an assistant principal at Mike Moses, so I see how active that area is in the afternoons particularly. I just wanted to ask you, I know that our contract is for $70,000 a year.
Yes.
How long has it been at that amount?
I'm saying 3 years. It was at 35 for a long time. And that was specifically the contract that was originally established in 2001, specifically for the pool. And then when Jim Jeffers was here, we had met and talked about the amount of kids that we serve after school, and compared to what's served at the rec center, and the dilemma of if something happened to the Boys and Girls Club and we weren't able to serve all those additional kids, how that responsibility would come back to the city. So. We agreed to an additional 35 that goes to help support the efforts of the club.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes. Are you going to make a motion to increase that?
I don't know if we're there.
Don't spend any money
I
right
think we
now.
have one of the best in the nation, one of the best Boys and Girls Clubs in the nation. Am I not right about that?
Thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate that. I hope you're having a good time in Maine. And eating a lot of lobster there, but yeah, we're a very unique Boys and Girls Clubs. Very few Boys and Girls Clubs have pools. Very few have tackle football programs, gymnastics. And the diversity of the services that we provide in our community, I think are very unique when it comes to Boys and Girls Clubs. So, we are we are very fortunate, and we're very fortunate to have a community that truly believes in what we do and supports it.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Davis.
Thank you.
very much.
Appreciate
Thank you. Okay, we'll move to item 6F, receive the annual report from Keep Nacogdoches Beautiful. Ashley Villarreal.
Hello, I am Ashley Villarreal. I'm the Executive Director for Keep Nacogdoches Beautiful. I should have a PowerPoint. Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. Okay, so I'm the Executive Director for Keep Nacogdoches Beautiful. I think everybody here is probably pretty familiar with us. We're very involved in the waste reduction and beautification of our already beautiful town. We try our best to keep it that way. So I'm just gonna kind of jump in here. This is our current board of directors here. I can't praise these people enough. It's so great to have such like-minded people on our board, and all these people are very willing to volunteer so much of their time to put into all the efforts that we do here in our community. This is just a list of events that we've done in this past fiscal year, and I'll go through each of them here. So our Tech Cycle Saturdays are the #1 thing here. That's what everybody kind of knows us or wants to know us for. It is, we operate as kind of a third-party drop-off location for people to come and drop off their electronics. We have a partnership with STS Recycling out of Jacksonville, and they come and pick it up from us, and then they actually will wipe everything, personal information, all that kind of stuff, and then they will recycle the parts. This is that picture there on the left. We usually have high schoolers that help us out with this, and it's very entertaining to watch them. What they have there are like flip phones up against their face. They thought it was so entertaining. So it's really fun to watch them play with all the, what they think are like the old school electronics that they get dropped off to us. That picture on the left, or I'm sorry, the right there is our old trailer that most people are probably familiar with. We recently, over the summer, it's been peeled off and shipped away, or it's not shipped away yet. It is for sale if anybody needs a trailer. We did purchase a new trailer. It's much bigger, much bigger. And so the issue we were having is that our trailer was filling up. Things just don't last as long as they do nowadays. And so people were continuously dropping things off to us, and then there were a handful of Tech Cycles that we had to actually shut down within like an hour that we were open. And so we purchased a bigger trailer, and it is actually up and running. We've used it twice now, and it's not even comparable in the difference and how much more we can fit in there. So we hold these Tech Cycles about quarterly, and we do have our next one coming up on November 16th. So our next kind of quarterly thing that we have is our Adopt a Highway program. This is actually a Don't Mess with Texas campaign through TxDOT. So we just participate in it. We have our own section of 2 Mile Highway that we clean up, and that's on both sides of the highway. We do it roughly about quarterly as well. Our next one is coming up here in a couple weeks. I also rave about this. I love to tell people that this is the best way to give back to your community, because you can adopt a highway yourself. You don't have to, you can participate in ours, but you can also participate in your own, and you pick the time and the date that you want to do it, and TxDOT provides the bags, and then they also pick up the trash after and dispose of it. So that's just my little spiel about everybody should adopt a highway. So I kind of conjoin these two. We also participate every year in SFA's MLK Day of Service and their big event. These are both two kind of in the same. Basically, we provide service projects, or people of the community provide service projects, and then SFA supplies the volunteers, which is the students. Every year it's kind of different. In this past MLK Day and the big event, we did both our tech cycles and our Adopt a Highway, and then we also did a cleanup around Lake Nacogdoches as well. In case you didn't know, the month of March is deemed Keep Texas Waterways Clean, and that's deemed by Keep Texas Beautiful, which is who we are an affiliate of. And so every March we try to hold a waterway cleanup. We do it other times as well, but we have like a designated weekend in March that we deem as like our waterway cleanup. And so this past March, we had a great group of people. I don't know if you can really tell in that picture, but there was almost 50 people that came, and I think we had the age range was crazy. Like we had a couple kids that were probably 6 or 7 years old, all the way up to adult ages. So it was awesome. So we got to break up into, I think it was 4 different groups, and we went to 4 different sections of Bonita Creek. That picture is some of the stuff that we pulled out of the creek. It might be kind of hard to tell, but there was various tires and just, I think that thing rolled up on that cart is actually a rug that had wrapped around a tree, probably whenever the creek had overflowed. But yeah, it's interesting the things that we pull out of the creek sometimes. Another thing we do is participate in the library's Earth Day event that they hold at Pecan Park. We do various activities with kids and adults if they want to while they're there. What we did this past year is our board saved our old strawberry containers. So we were teaching kids about upcycling. And so what we did with the strawberry containers is had the kids plant seeds. They got to pick. We had various flowers, and then I think there were a couple of like herbs that they could pick from. And so they filled the container with soil and then the seed, and then they sprayed it, and then they took it home, and then they could replant it whenever it started to grow. And so that taught them about planting, and then also like the upcycling with the strawberry containers. And then we also passed out some Take Care of Texas coloring books that have just different various activities and coloring about educational things. Next up is our tire recycle day. This past year we were able to collect over 900 tires, which is insane. That's the most that we've ever collected. This was our 4th event. The amount of tires just blows me away every year that people just come and have. But we do this as a free drop-off. We get sponsors and raise the money for it, and so it's completely free to the public. They can come and drop off their tires. The Liberty Tire out of Beaumont, which is actually the city already has a partnership with them, they'll come and collect the tires, and they'll haul them off to be recycled, and they're turned into like playground mulching and tennis shoes and other various items. Texas Arbor Day is in November. If you didn't know, there is a National Arbor Day and a Texas Arbor Day. So Texas has its own Arbor Day because we have such hot summers, and then it doesn't really get cold until like February here. So you can plant trees in November. And so Texas Arbor Day falls on the first Friday of November. Every year we participate in this. It's an event with the City of Nacogdoches as well as our Garden Capital of Texas Committee. This past November, we planted 100 native tree species out at the Coy Sims Softball Park. Not only is this an opportunity for us to plant trees in our public places, but it's also a time to be able to show people the proper way to plant a tree, because some people don't know how. And then not only properly planting it, but taking care of it afterwards. That's the picture in the top left there. You can see our board member Dawn Stover. She is showing those kids how to properly plant the tree. And then our Christmas lights recycle. This is probably our easiest event, on us at least. We place bins at the Nacogdoches Recreation Center, just in that front lobby of the rec and public library, and people can drop off. We usually set the bins up right after Thanksgiving, whenever people start taking out all their Christmas stuff. So if you have any lights that don't work anymore, you can come and drop them off in the bins. We usually keep them out past New Year's, so people have lights that go out during the Christmas season, they can come and drop them off. And then STS Recycling, which is the same people that come and pick up our electronics, are who come and pick them up, and they'll like refurbish the wiring and stuff inside of them. And then the festival litter abatement. So we handle all of the trash at the Blueberry Festival, which is a lot of trash, a lot of trash. This year we are actually going to take on the challenge of doing the same thing at the Day of the Dead Festival. We're really excited about that, especially because it's not in June in the middle of the day. It's going to be a nice change of pace to be in the evening and in cooler weather. And this is actually an event that we have not done yet, but we have been in the works on for probably since the spring. We, next month, are going to throw what we're calling our citywide cleanup challenge. We're hoping we can have a lot of people come out. How it's going to work is we're going to provide the bags and gloves if you need them. We'll set up roll-offs at the SFA Coliseum parking lot. And then we hope that the public will come out and pick up some of the trash that is wherever you want it to be, that's in public areas and safe for you to get to. So we would really hope that you guys would really support us in this, whether it be just by sharing the information by word of mouth or social media. We'd also love for you guys to come out there the morning of. It's kind of, we've set it up as like a competition between the 4 wards. Just a friendly competition, and we have some cool little like trash can trophy to award the winning ward. So it's still in the works, and this year is probably going to be eventful because every time you do something for the first time, there's going to be problems and stuff. But we're really hopeful that we have a really good turnout, and we'd really appreciate it if you guys would help us out with this. And that's all I have. I greatly appreciate all the support that the city gives to us. And I'm open for any questions that anybody has.
Again, I'd just like to say thank you for the job that you do, Ashley. I had no idea it was this extensive, but if it wasn't for keeping Nacogdoches beautiful, this city would probably look a lot different. So anyway, thank you very much for all your hard work that you do.
So if it's between all the wards, this competition, where does Randy fit in?
He can fit into the winning ward.
Okay. Yeah, you don't want to get him trash.
Excuse me, he lives in the Northeast Ward. I think he needs to participate in the Northeast because he lives there.
Whichever one wins is the one I'm going with.
That's who you will.
Well, better get on my team then.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, so please come and show up. We'd love to, especially with the winning ward, we'd love to have like pictures taken and everything that morning of. So it's October 12th, Saturday, October 12th. Mark your calendars. We're excited. We're hopeful that it'll be a really good turnout and people can come. And I know on Nacogdoches Talk, people love to talk about all the trash everywhere, and we're hopeful that people will come and step up and help out and really make a difference.
Let's do something about it.
Yes, that's the idea.
Thank you.
Yes, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you, Ashley. Okay, next item, item G, consider approval of Nacogdoches Convention and Visitors Bureau fiscal year 2024-2025 budget and marketing plan. Ms. Morgan.
Good morning, or good evening, sorry. Good evening, Mayor and Council. As stated, my name is Ashley Morgan, and I'm the Executive Director for Visit Nacogdoches, also known as the Nacogdoches Convention and Visitors Bureau. Just as a reminder, this is my first time presenting a budget to you all, as I've been officially in this position since January of 2024. I did want to thank a few of my board members for being here tonight. I have my chair, Alex Rance, my vice chair, Larry King, Robert Martin, and John McGuire, making sure nobody else snuck in. And then I also have Cheryl Bartlett, our accountant here. This is our staff. We have 4 full-time staff members and 1 part-time staff member. Mike Bay is our visitor services coordinator and Mr. Nacogdoches. We have Shelby Lero, our group sales and services coordinator, so she handles conventions and sales and special events. And Natalie Dunn is our creative content director. And then there's me. And I mentioned Cheryl already. Just as a reminder, this is our mission and purpose, to to position Nacogdoches as a historic destination by attracting overnight visitors and positively affecting the city's economy. The Nacogdoches CVB encourages, enhances, and promotes tourism-related business and special events in the area. This is just some perspective, the power of tourism. So, you know, we talked about the budget tonight, and I just want to make sure that everyone is aware that when tourists come to Nacogdoches, spend money at our restaurants, at our gas stations, at our hotels, they are adding to our sales tax base. So tourism saves you money. And that number currently provided by the Texas Governor's Office of Economic Development and Tourism says that number for Nacogdoches is $393 per household. And to me, that number can only go up the more we attract tourism. So direct traveler spending accounted for $97.3 million in Nacogdoches County in 2023. I just want to give you a little bit of a state of tourism in Nacogdoches. So we recently, my board recently voted to acquire this data that helps us understand who's visiting Nacogdoches, how long they're staying here, and where they're coming from. And this is very preliminary data, but I drew a geofence around the Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Visitor Center, and we had approximately 35,000 people in and around the Visitor Center in 2023. I don't think that's a complete number, just because there are days of the week that we aren't open the entire day. So I think that number is actually a lot higher, but those are the people that have walked into the Visitor Center. We have 999, it sounds like a fake number, but hotel rooms in Nacogdoches currently. However, we do have 2 new hotels opening, I believe, in 2025 on the Loop, so we're really excited to add to that. It'll allow us to attract bigger conferences, but so far occupancy has been about 55.6% in 2024. And short-term rentals, we have 57 identified properties, and they've been hovering between 20 and 35% booking activity so far this year. However, that was as of the beginning of September, and I expect that to be a lot higher after this holiday season, including the Old Town Rigdown and Parents Weekend, which is this upcoming weekend, and I'm hearing anecdotally that most of the Airbnbs are full for this upcoming weekend. And just a reminder, we are funded by hotel occupancy tax collected by the city of Nacogdoches. We receive 72.5% of that. The rest of that is split between the Expo Center and historic sites. And there's also very specific funding requirements, expenditure requirements that we can spend that money on. So our money can only be spent on the promotion of our destination, our visitor center, tourism-related advertising, expenditures that promote the arts, and I'll let you read the rest of them, but it's very clear what that money can be spent on. So our strategy is to be the information go-to source for everyone in Nacogdoches, and I really believe we've achieved this. We have 21,000 followers on Facebook and more beyond that on our Instagram, and we're building up on LinkedIn as well. And we also strive to be the public image of Nacogdoches for people who are thinking about moving here or thinking about visiting here. So all of our content is positive, it's upbeat, and we try really hard to be as accurate as possible when promoting events and things to do here. We've also built a strong community with our local partners like the Chamber of Commerce and all of the hosts of the events in the area, including the Blueberry Festival, the Old Town Rigdown, and Dia de los Muertos, because we believe if we all work together that we have a stronger, united front. I mentioned that we have 21,000 followers on Facebook. Our total audience is just shy of 26,000. This is just our reach for unpaid social media posting. That number grows exponentially when we do pay for advertising and also when you share our posts. Shameless plug. Here's our website analytics. So from September 8th of 2023 to September 8th of 2024, we had 124,000 people visit our website. And just a reminder, our website is visitnacogdoches.org, and our website is especially curated to promote Nacogdoches as an attractive place to visit. I did include some analytics there about where in the world people are finding us. Of course, it's mostly the United States, but we also have quite a few people looking at our website from Canada and the United Kingdom, and we've seen this convert into real-time visitors. Just today, I had a visitor come in from Scotland, and I just thought that was amazing. I wanted to show y'all some things that we work on just in case you see these in the community and you wonder who's making them, where is that coming from? That's us. We have heard for years that our locals really want a calendar of events so that they can plan their year and plan their visits and for family visiting. And so we put out that 2024 events list, and it's been really popular. I've seen like downtown merchants hanging it in their offices and their windows. And then we also post that weekly what's happening as well as a monthly what's happening. And as you can see, the font is seemingly getting smaller and smaller, and that's just because there's so much to do and so many people want to be on our what's happening. And so we do have to be kind of selective sometimes, and we always go back to our mission and purpose, which is to promote tourism-related business. So occasionally you might see an event not listed on there, and that's just due to a lot of people wanting to be on there and us having to stick to our mission and purpose. Wanted to show you some recent ads that we've put out, which you'll see in our budget that a large portion of our budget is spent on advertising, so I wanted you to see where that money is going. This was an ad in American Road magazine. We had both a print and a digital presence, and it resulted in several new, so we put out a monthly e-newsletter. We got multiple new contacts for our e-newsletter and over 1,000 clicks to our website. This was an ad that we put out in the springtime when the azaleas were blooming and around Wine Swirl. We were really trying to push like a girls' weekend in Nacogdoches. These are some ads that we've put in Texas meetings and events in an attempt to attract people to have conferences and large events in Nacogdoches. The Fredonia Hotel is our main attraction for that, just because it is a full-service hotel and convention center, and that's the only one we have. However, we do also promote our expo center and SFA meeting facilities. These are some ads that we've had in Texas Monthly, and these are created by Hancock Advertising, who's a partner of ours. So we have one promoting, this is very recent, promoting SFA football and our fall foliage, and then of course the Blueberry Festival back in June. In August, we attended the Texas Association of Convention and Visitors Bureaus, and we entered entered a contest, and we're broken into 3 budget categories. There's under 500,000, 500,000 to 1 million, and then over 1 million. So we're in that middle budget category. And in our budget category, we took home 1st place in video and storytelling, 2nd place in community local engagement, and 3rd place in meetings and event promotions. So these are some priorities we put together at our recent board meetings. So we are planning to launch a new website in March of 2025. I have that on another slide as well, but this current website that we have, while visually attractive, it is not the most functional and not the most intuitive, and we're really trying to make sure that when visitors get to our website, it's getting suggestions on what to look at next, and our current website doesn't do that, so that's why we're excited to launch a new one. My board would like us to increase our billboard presence, and you'll notice that just recently, if you're coming from Lufkin into Nacogdoches, which I'm sure you do often, on Highway 59, right there by Lugnuts, there was an old faded billboard that had, I think it was co-sponsored by Pilgrims, but now it just says, "Drive straight into history." We have a knack for that. So we're trying to improve the entrances into town. This is, I don't want to say temporary, but until we can reach a point where we can put something more substantial and more eye-catching, hopefully these billboards will do the trick. A big priority is continuing education for staff. Our little corner of the city is always looking to improve what what can bring people to Nacogdoches, and those trends are constantly changing, mostly in part thanks to AI and also just travel trends. And so we go to as many conferences as we can, and two of our staff members, myself included, and Natalie Dunn, we're both currently enrolled in a program to get our Certified Tourism Executive certifications. So that's a 3-year program through the Texas Travel Alliance. I am starting my 3rd year, and Natalie is starting her 2nd year. This is a charge from our board chair to update our bylaws to reflect our current position with the city. You all may remember that we changed our agreement with the city, and our bylaws are still just a little bit outdated. So we're planning to update those just to match our current agreement with the city. And of course, we always want to increase occupancy in hotels and short-term rentals. And we're wanting to increase the volume of conventions and conferences. As I mentioned earlier, we're getting a new website. The focus will still absolutely be on really high impact visuals and stunning photography. That's always a priority for us, but we're really excited about the new functionality that we'll have. So now for the numbers. In 2023 to 2024, our board approved a budget of $580,000. And just for reference, we get these projections from the finance department based on what they take in each month, and then they kind of average it out, for lack of a better word, and determine the budget from there. This year, they're expecting to take in this is just our portion, remember, $677,000. I personally was a little bit nervous about that large jump, and I didn't want to budget that money and then be hurting later on if for whatever reason. I've worked for the CVB during a pandemic. Things change quickly, and so I personally opted to suggest to the board that we go with a more conservative budget of $670,000, kind of, increasing it to reflect the hotel occupancy tax, but also just holding back a little bit. And so the board of directors approved this budget for $670,625 for the fiscal year 2024 to 2025. This is a quick budget breakdown just so you understand where our money is going. Just over 45% is personnel, 32.8% is marketing, and then 4.2% for visitor services, 2.6% for sales, and 15% for administration. And that's all. I would love to answer any questions you might have.
Ashley, you do a great job, and I know you were interim for a long, long time, especially transitioning from an interim city manager to a new city manager.
Yes.
And I know that you were a little hesitant, but I hope you feel a lot more comfortable now with the current administration. And you are an example of what we're trying to build here in this city, and along with the other departments. And you've done a great job, and we really, really appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
Do a really good job.
Thank you. I
And
do
we're very
appreciate
proud
it.
of your work.
And I
and your
appreciate the saving just that little bit, just in case. That's
Yes.
really smart.
Thank you.
So I want to jump in and echo everyone's comments. Thank you for what you're doing. I'm definitely glad that you're our executive director for the CVB. I want to not distract us from what we're talking about here, but I do want to mention the billboards.
Yes.
It's something that's very noticeable as someone that does drive into our gateways. And that's something that we need to improve upon as an entire city.
Yeah.
That's one of the priorities that I'm making my priority. I've gotten several emails over the last few months talking about how can we improve the way our city looks as we come into it, particularly from the south.
Yes.
And so y'all are really kickstarting that work that's happening. And so I don't know what the answer is, if it's a grant program to help our businesses in those areas to improve the way their businesses look. I know we have that for Main Street and downtown, but you're kickstarting something that's going to be very, very big for our city. So thank you, and I want to be a part of it, and I want to help in any way I can. So thank you.
Thank you. It's nice to know that we're all on the same page. I think a lot of people are kind of feeling the momentum in Nacogdoches, and they're excited to brag about it. And so I think that's why we're wanting to see like that presence at our entries. We do have another one going up. I believe it's Highway 7 East. I'm directionally challenged, I'm sorry. But yes, that way. And we had two others that were attempted, but we just ran into some issues with property owners and TxDOT. And so we're still striving towards all four major entrances of town and beyond that as well. But we've also been really inspired by SFA improving their billboard presence. I don't know if y'all have seen them, but they look amazing. So I think just us both doing that is going to make a huge difference.
And I think you're making a really good point, particularly not just SFA, but SFA Athletics as well. This is full steam ahead for Nacogdoches, and we have got to keep pouring fuel on that fire and keep it going.
Yes,
So thank you for
absolutely.
what the CVB is doing to help us improve
you.
that.
Ashley, I have one question. I know the the hotel taxes are limited in what you can do. Can you all think of any way that those funds can help have more activities or help our sites be open on Sunday afternoon? You and I talked about this, the Sunday things to do for people out of town.
Yes, ma'am. And I would love to sit down and have that conversation. So Historic Sites does get a portion of hotel occupancy tax. Perhaps there's a way there that we can, I don't want to say allocate more because it's a sticky subject, but maybe we can come up with better ways. But yeah, I think part of the answer is we really need help with volunteers, at least until we start taking in additional funding. But as Nacogdoches grows, I'm really hoping that that funding grows, and then maybe we can talk about allocating more towards historic sites for that. And as for us, you know, when things are happening in town, we always try to boost them in whatever way possible. So for instance, we've hired bands to play for events, and it kind of looks like a sponsorship, but it's us adding to the activities with our budget and trying to relieve that cost on the event planners where we can. And just trying to add our presence wherever we can. We currently are in discussions to have an event at Fredonia Brewery during homecoming weekend, where we are there passing out visitor information to people that are coming to the brewery in between. And so we're just looking at all the ways that we can boost it as much as possible until that additional funding comes in.
Well, as you may know, we made every single one of those dollars weep in this budget.
Yes, absolutely.
So any way we can collaboratively think of ways to keep people and help them have something to do on Sundays, I think it would be a really great thing. But
Yes, we would love that as well. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kathleen, let's jump on that and do a senior Sunday visitation.
Okay.
That would be cool.
I actually think it would be great to have events over at Zion Hill, singing, church kinds of singing and, all day because it's a church, but I don't know how to make that happen. But yeah, we can do senior anything.
Yeah.
And by the way, that aerobics is tough. I'll tell you why.
Okay, all right. By the way, this weekend, Beyonce's sister will be at the Expo Center. Lisa Knowles and the Brown Singers. So we will be out there on Saturday starting at 5 o'clock. And they will have other singers. But this will be a celebration for Roy Lee Benton, who's on the radio station of 103.7. So anyone that's interested in coming out during that time, we will be glad to have you. Tickets are $40 for VIP, and tables are $320. But we plan on having a good old-fashioned singing and hallelujah time there.
That's awesome.
Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Comments?
I will make a motion that we approve the CVB fiscal year 24-25 budget and marketing plan.
Second.
Have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank y'all.
Motion carries unanimously.
Have a good night.
Okay, that concludes tonight's meeting. Thank you for coming, and God bless this great city of Nacogdoches, Texas.